might just use for e-copies, in which you can download a copy on the Geshe Tenzin Zopa's event page on Root Institute's website. There'll be a link to the text. But if you prefer a physical copy, please, if someone could please pass them out, that's great. Thank you. Oh.
Guru teacher Bhagavan Satanaka arrived perfect to complete Buddha, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, known of the world, supreme guide of beings to be subdued, teacher of gods and humans, to do Buddha Bhagavan, glorious conquer Shakyamuni, appropriate with offerings and all for the peace. Guru teacher Bhagavan Satanaka arrived perfect complete Buddha, perfect in knowledge. Siddhartha, knower of the world, supreme guide of beings to be subdued, teacher of gods and humans, to use Buddha, knowledge, conquer Shakyamuni, and prostrate make offerings and all for the peace. The Guru teacher Bhagavan Saratara, perfect complete Buddha, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Siddhartha, knower of the world, supreme guide of beings to be subdued, teacher of gods and humans, to use Buddha Bhagavan, knowledge, conquer Shakyamuni, and prostrate make offerings and all for the peace. When supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you placed out 7 stars and saved them supremely bestowed. To you were wise and apostate. With the body, soul supremely pure, with the ocean that rolled and mountain, playing the places in the 3 worlds, winner of the death, saving you were apostate. With the supreme silence, face like spotless moon, color like gold, you were apostate. There are 3 like you, the 3 worlds are not. The second after the very compassion, teacher having all understanding, the field of merit is to you the one of substance, the purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the one heart is to the down of the those who are liberated and those who show the path to liberation, the public hearing qualified with liberation, who are devoted to the moment of death, to use Islam and unity in them the Shia do not permit them any form of action, any force of action. The one soul the stars perfect view and what about a dream like Academics make a study of the room, the state of all scenes, subdue the enemy of force, and free from the ocean of samsara. The sun of the way of ancient strength and death. According to the perfection of wisdom, page 232, the indescribable, inconceivable, and inexpressible perfection of wisdom, unproduced and feeling, the nature of space, object of infinitely knowledge, transcendental wisdom, to the mother of the 3 crowns and 3 times outward strength. Accustomed to the 3 noble ways of life. Exactly one time, the Bhagavan was drilling a massive mountain in Rajasthan, together with the great community of monks and the great community of disciples. At that time, the Bhagavan was absorbed in the concentration of the categories of phenomenal or contemplation. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasangha Arya Vikteshwara looked upon the very practice of profound perfection and wisdom and the endless power to get the sovereignty of the creature. Then, through power of Buddha, the venerable Shariputra, the deeds of Bodhisattva Mahasangha Arya Vikteshwara, our student and the son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activities of profound perfection and wisdom. It said that when the Bodhisattva Mahasangha Arya Vikteshwara resisted the venerable Shariputra. Shariputra and his son of the lineage wished to practice the activities of profound perfection and wisdom, through form practice, correctly and repeatedly the old things of practice, so empty of nature. All is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, unity, discrimination, composition, practice, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra likewise all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless not without stain, not efficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composition, practice, and consciousness. No eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no vision form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no touch, expression, no memory. There is no argument, similitude, any feeling of mind, and consciousness. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and solitude, any feeling of aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and past. There is no exhausted wisdom, no attainment, and also no material. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattva rely on learning the perfection of wisdom,
The mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond knowledge, they reach the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who were in the 3,000 also manifested completely awakened to unsurpassable perfect complete enlightenment in the lives of the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequal, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as priestesses or spouses. The mantra of perfection of wisdom is declared, Hayata, Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisattva. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Maharaj, should carry the full perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from the concentration and commanded the Bodhisattva Maharaj and then the Tetra well said, sorry, late, that. On the true practice of the full perfection of wisdom, just as they indicated, fidelity of the death choice. The Bhagavan having the spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Maharaj and the Tetra, and those surrounding their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, Buddhas, and Buddhas, whatever children come prayers spoken by the Bible. Prayer to the lion face the king. So we're going to go to the long Mandala offering. So page 238.
Shingan Biwai Jiwo Doje Luwe Dendo Jezo Zo Jene Janda Zo Lowa Majo Namje Dada Semje Damje La Doze Wa Jembe Gone Shinje La Dozo Chö Yeah, so then, so after creating the auspiciousness for the Dharma discourse to be happened through the practice of preliminary prayers, such as at the beginning, paying homage to Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, then after that reciting the Heart Sutra, Snow Line Face, Heart Sutra, to dispel hindrances. Firstly, hindrances towards even being aware there's a Dharma discourse is happening. The hindrances of the worldly busyness, the hindrances of the distractions, so difficult for us to even aware there's such existence of the Buddha's teaching, then the existence of the discourse on Buddha's teaching. Though then, even after you discover, there's a Dharma discourse available, but then to really find time, find all the resources. So even you find time and the resources, even but just to get to the celestial environment of the Dharma is so difficult. So even, let's say an example, even you happen to get to, like Bodh Gaya, land of enlightenment, but then for some it's a tourist place, just want to visit those ruins and just want to experience the conventional relative world of the culture that in this particular part of the world that exists, which can be very unique, can be very different. Then time passes, and even there's a Bodh Gaya stupa there. Very much didn't really become the highlight. And even there's a Dharma discourse happening in the different Dharma organizations, different centers, and such as in the Road Institute. But then that become the last thing that one may choose. But then even you happen to choose to attend the Dharma discourse, but then not easy to really, the excitement. They may not be something like so appealing, especially with the gloomy weather. Then don't know whether you had a comfortable bed or not, comfortable food or not. It's not as comfortable as what you have at home, materially, environmentally. Then sometime, you start to wonder, after spending so much of money, come here, how come? Where am I? Am I in the right place? Then it's very difficult to have that kind of like, that fully excited, fully motivated, rejoicing kind of aspect of heart, for the course. It happens. All these are also obstacles. So then, okay, fine. You sign up for the course. You're here now. You're in the Gomba, but then still wondering, what's going on. There's we thought immediately there will be some sense of complete tranquility, heart filled with bliss, joy. But then that's not really happening, They say, when that's going to happen? Maybe not going to happen at all. Live in the confusion, live already, kind of intrude our old patterns of this confused mind. These are also obstacles, an example. So then after that, then there may be certain expectations from certain, the teaching or the course, like instant enlightenment, instant liberation, more instant than instant noodle. Instant noodle also take at least 5 minutes to cook. But then maybe the expectation is like quicker, and somehow we are in the land of enlightenment, so then, so kind of having certain kind of doubt, uncertainty about, the benefit that we have heard about the Dharma, even these are obstacles, you see. So, so even you manage to achieve certain kind of wisdoms and purifications and transformations, but then again, the heart not really fully fulfilled. There's no sense of definite, like 100% appreciation in whatever that you have accomplished. Even that also obstacle. Then, more than that, to be able to, have the sustainability, consistency in the training during the time and afterwards, especially, after the course. Not easy. There's so many form of obstacles that comes in our way. The worst obstacle is the distractions of worldly concerns. So even there's certain kind of stability, consistent in the training, in the practice, but then not really achieving obvious realization, on the path. The negative force is like always very much overpowering on the journey. So even that is obstacles, then also taking long time to accomplish all the stages of the path. Even that taking long time, also obstacles. Then even after you accomplish certain kind of realizations, let's say along the way, even though our ultimate goal is enlightenment, but then happen to achieve, happen to find some kind of the value in self-liberation, then residing there for a long time, even that serves as obstacle to the ultimate goal of why we are, why we follow the Buddha Dharma. Even residing in nirvana become obstacle. You see, the ultimate goal, ultimate intent of the Buddha to reveal the teaching is for us to achieve, for us to be most beneficial in the service of numberless sentient beings, not just for yourself. And that is to really to achieve, a state of full enlightenment, solely for the purpose of numberless sentient beings' enlightenment. So until then, there's so many stages of obstacles. So therefore, reciting Hasutra, all this help us to, dispel those, past, present, future kind of obstacles on the path. So then after that, then, so by clearing those obstacles, then one start to be in the most conducive environment, which is very much expressed through irresistible faith and conviction in the value of Dharma, in the value of the Buddha Dharma Sangha. You see, irresistible faith. Very much knowing the quality or the characteristic of the what Buddha Dharma really is. Then having full conviction. So in the conducive environment within, having these two qualities of irresistible faith and conviction, then entire so-called obstacle, everything become, even that, all those obstacles also become conducive to the progress of the path. Even samsara become most beneficial environment to develop our heart and get enlightened. All the challenges, all the so-called obstacles, everything become source of delivering the ultimate purpose of entering into the Dharma path, which is achieving enlightenment. So the person who's having this, the inner conducive environment of the faith and conviction, then even the training takes 3 countless eons of lifetime, or 3 countless eons of immeasurable, period of time, still so meaningful. Or even one achieve the tiniest form of liberation in this very present moment, as equal meaningful as achieving the state of full enlightenment. Even this ordinary human life also become as meaningful as one have achieved the state of full enlightenment, because oneself able to manage to be totality in the service of virtue and in the service of sentient being, with sincere heart of love and compassion. Otherwise, even someone achieve enlightenment, if there's no element of love and compassion, then cannot deliver, cannot bring the benefit to sentient being. Then there's no meaning of that achievement, you see. So even in this very ordinary beginner level, if we have the innate quality, the Buddha potential is manifesting in its best ability, according with what our own ability as an ordinary human being is already manifesting the deeds of the Buddha. Manifesting the deeds of the Buddha, you see. So otherwise, as mentioned earlier, even you achieve nirvana peace, you didn't manage to really illustrate the ultimate objective of the Dharma, which is be in the service of others by overcoming even how peaceful state of achievement that you have achieved for your own benefit. You see? So like that. So then there's just now the offering. Our director made the offering, which is called mandala offering. Some of you maybe seeing those things as a new accountants. So this ritual is to create the auspiciousness. Firstly, to how to say. So the Dharma discourse to be a pure Dharma, not a worldly Dharma. Then the Dharma to be a path, and on the path not to have obstacle, and the realization on the stages of path after enlightenment to be achieved swiftly. So to create that auspiciousness, then the mandala offering practice performed like that. So now after this, in order to make your time here, our time here, to be most meaningful, most beneficial, so that can be done with correct motivation, beneficial motivation. So there are many kind of virtuous motivation. The one of the most valuable one, the greatest one, is the altruistic motivation, bodhicitta motivation. Especially the teaching that we're going to discuss is in accordance with the Mahayanic Dharma. So the motivation to achieve the purpose of Mahayanic Dharma is bodhicitta, or great compassionate motivation. So by simply dedicating entire one's existence until achieving enlightenment, then especially this whole life, and this very year, this very month, this very week, and this very course, be most beneficial for the numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness of enlightenment. For that purpose, I must achieve a state of full enlightenment. For that purpose, I must actualize all the realization of stages path. For that purpose, I must learn the correct path, the correct dharma. For that purpose, then I'm going to, dedicate every single preparatory effort that you have engaged. Even planning to come here, then every single moment of your body, speech, and mind, every single moments of your time here, and all the impact of all the future times, dedicate for that purpose. And that also not just blindly believing and yourself putting into that environment. This heart should be inspired by valid examples. This is the reason why we take refuge in Buddha Dhamma Sangha. learning the qualities of the Buddha. Buddha is someone that initially, as ordinary as us, Buddha have, been reborn as a hell being, hungry ghost, animal, human, god, and demigods, numberless of lifetimes. Even in the human realm, many different form of life. Even when he was training on the Bodhisattva's path, there are many different manifestations that you can learn from the Jataka tale, like 500 kind of unfavorable rebirth, 500 kinds of favorable rebirths. Very similar to ourselves. Even in this one human lifetime, we have gone through how many different phases of life. The life of the infant, life of childhood, life of teenage, young adult. Some went through the life of marriage. Some went through life of divorce. Some went through life of monastic. Some went through the life of all sort of lives. All these are different reincarnations. Even within this one lifetime, we have so many different reincarnations. So Buddha, Shakyamuni, even the historical Shakyamuni Buddha himself has a similar kind of stories like what we have. He's not from the very beginning enlightened innately, or inherently enlightened, being from ever enlightened kind of existing from the very beginning of his existence. Not like that. You see, it's very much similar like us. But then he understood gradually, like ourselves, the limitations of all the negativities, or the limitations of the negative kind of lifestyle, wrong livelihood, and all the rest of the limitations of our body, speech, and mind. And he went to look for tools to purify them. Then gradually he found the Dharma. You see. So when we talk about Dharma, it's not a religious kind of matter. It is about reality. It is about truth. When we talk about Dharma, it's talking about truth. Dharma wisdom is wisdom of truth. Dharma knowledge is a knowledge of truth, knowledge of real thing. Dharma simply meaning antidote or the tool to fix all the wrongdoings, all the negativities, all the limitations. Like Che in Tibetan called Che. So there's also mentioning of Che means fixed. To fix all the wrong things. Fix the limitations of our being, limitations of our mind, limitations of our speech, limitations of our physical actions, limitations of the environment. Called Che. It's like a toolbox to fix the old car or broken car. So in the toolbox there are so many screwdriver, then the hammer, and then there's so many things inside there, isn't it? So there's 84,000 different tools in that toolbox of Dharma, and within that complete toolbox, anything to be fixed, can fix, because enough. Complete toolbox to all the problems, you see. So how many negativities we may have, it very much summarized as 84,000 different flows that we have. Just kind of, how to say, category-wise, 84,000 limitations. Otherwise, limitless limitations, infinite, uncountable limitations. Similarly, the antidote also, in categories-wise, 84,000 dharma, but limitless wisdoms, immeasurable wisdoms, immeasurable methods, skillful means in that 84,000 teachings of the dharma, you see. So, so Buddha found those correct antidotes, the truths of the dharma, and he applied for himself, and all his limitations have able to overcome the the limitations of the contaminated aggregates, the samsaric body, the samsaric mind. He managed to purify them. Firstly, he managed to purify the samsara or law realms. Samsara, the contaminated aggregates of hell-being, contaminated aggregates of hungry ghosts, animal realm, then human and demigods and god realms. Then eventually he achieved liberation. Then he also able to purify, he able to achieve the liberation by purifying the limitations of all the delusions, all the delusions, like such as anger, attachment, then the ignorant, the secondary level of ignorant, that which is conditionally developed within living being, through the wrong culture, wrong philosophy, wrong knowledge, then develop the wrong views, the ignorant, which is the ignorant within the troubling of interdependent existence. So by purifying that through the tools of dharma, the wisdom, mainly the renunciation of seeing the limitations and direct antidote of emptiness or selflessness, able to purify them and achieve the nirvana, the peace. Then he still discovered limitations in that state of nirvana peace. Then using the tools of altruistic wisdom and altruistic method, like such as immeasurable compassion, immeasurable love, then the heart of bodhicitta, then even the wisdom of emptiness that carries the element of bodhicitta. So he managed to purify even the innate ignorant, which is we call as obscuration to omniscience, which is the main obstacle to achieve the state of Buddhahood, the ultimate cessation from entire limitations. Not just the cessations of delusions, but even the cessation achieved by overcoming the obscurational defilements, which main one is called the innate ignorant, which is different from the ignorant from the troubling or dependent origination. Then he is someone who adorned with the perfections of all the knowledge, all the method, like such as the 6 perfections, perfection in the practice of generosity, morality, wisdom, etc. Then perfections of like 10 perfections, 5 kind of wisdoms, 5 kind of concentrations. So very much all this make him achieve the indestructible Vajra body, which is called the wisdom body, which will never degenerate from that achievement, indestructible Vajra body. You see, then his experience of the journey share with us. This is the teaching of the 84,000 Dharma. And we, as similar to his journey of life, if we apply the method that which is proven that definitely works for purification and accumulations of enlightenment, then without doubt, that we will achieve the benefit. So, you see, so that is the inspiration. The what do you call the proof? There are many great masters from India, from Tibet, from China, from different like Thailand, Sri Lanka. Just from the Buddhist the cultural environment, there are so many proof. By using the tools of the Dharma the Buddha have shared, they managed to overcome samsara. They managed to overcome all the limitations, and they become a wholesome being. You see, so so that's the reason why Buddha is ultimate refuge, and by taking refuge, then it inspired ourselves also to dedicate entire our existence to achieve the same purpose like what Buddha did. You see, so now for that, then I will recite verses of refuge in Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Then, as mentioned before, inspired by this reasoning, then generate altruistic motivation. And those of you who already have refuge, then refresh them. And those of you who not yet taken refuge in Buddha Dhamma Sangha, then simply acknowledge your true being, your true being, which is no different than the Buddha being, which we call as a Buddha potential, a Tathagata essence. Every being has Tathagata essence, whether you believe or not. Whether you know or not, our true being is Buddha being. Our true potential is Buddha potential. You see, Buddha also don't take it as a religious kind of matter. You see, Buddha. I think the Buddha referring to demon, negativities. I think referring to liberation, or the qualities of the liberation. In Tibetan language, very clearly, emphasize Sangye, the true word, is translation of Buddha. Sangye. Sang, the first Sang is referring to Buddha, means purified. They purified the two major obstacles, the limitations of delusion and limitations of obscuration to omniscience, refer to Sang. Ge meaning achieve, actualize the two bodies of the qualities, the wisdom body and the form body, or the perfected qualities of attitude, the omniscient state of the enlightened mind, then perfected qualities of the wisdom, the Dharmakaya state. And that's called Ge, Sangye, you see. Yeah, so everyone has the potential of Sangye. You see, everyone has potential of Buddha, which called Tathagata essence. all the identity that we define within us as a samsaric person is just a small fraction of who you are. It's not a wholeness of who you are, you see. Very important to recognize that, you see. Whatever, amount of knowledge you have about who you are is very limited knowledge. Maybe 1%, not even 1%. Even that 1% is false knowledge. Is false knowledge. As if we know this ordinary person, me, but in reality, there's no ordinary person, me, from his own side. There's no ordinary person in anywhere in our aggregates. And we still apprehend as ordinary person, me, I'm here. If someone happened to ask you, are you Buddha or are you suffering sentient being? Most likely I would say, I'm suffering sentient being. Where are you? You say, I'm here. As if that suffering sentient being is wholeness of yourself, solidly, independently, inherently exists out there, and you very much, manage the life on the basis of that. You see, that is ultimately it's called hallucinational view. It is a grasping of ignorant. It is not a knowledge of wisdom. You see, even though that 1% we know also falsely identified who really you are. So can you imagine the 99%, the not knowing who you are really? And that is actually is very much the ultimate of any learning of the Dharma, to really know who really you are. You see, is the main job of Buddha Dharma, learning Buddha Dharma, meditations, study, contemplation, even ourselves coming here is to really know who really you are, is who really we are. That's the main job. You see, at the moment, we are very much in a sleeping mood. We are all asleep. You see, we are all asleep. We think we are awake. Awake. I'm awake because that's why I booked the ticket. I'm here. I see the road. I can see you. Etc. etc. No, we are completely in the sleep. In the sleep. Not total restful sleep, unfortunately. If it's total restful sleep, that's fine. But also not restful sleep. It's very much like a dream state of sleeping time. Ourselves like very much in a dream state. So whatever we are experiencing, ups and downs, all these limitations, these are very much dream-like. It makes sense? It's a dream-like, okay? In the dream, if anybody have experience of nightmare, bad dream, that's so real, isn't it? And it really affects your emotion. It even affects the body, and it affects entire our environment. It affects entire our day. If we had a bad dream, scary dream of ghosts, so it's not there, but then it's so real, and we are affected. Our days are affected, our life is affected, and we become so unhappy, so scared, even though absolutely not there at all. And when you wake up, I think, when was that? I think just, when I was transiting in Bangkok, so I stayed one night in a hotel. And so I had a dream of I'm still in my earlier destination. I was in Malaysia. So the same room, the bed I was sleeping, actually, one of the students booked me a very luxurious hotel in Thailand. So I came from the different part of the world, but I was like sleeping so happily on that. That's not as a luxury as the hotel that I stayed in Bangkok. So very humble room, but it's very nice. So I was like, I'm waking up the daily how I wake up. Because that's full of Dharma programs. It's something that's very uplifting, feel very meaningful, that kind of like waking up. And I realized that even though all the bed sheets are white color, because the bed sheet that I wear, the Q cover of the blankets actually is more like a goldish color, like this kind of color. But I look around and it's so real. But look around, everything's white, how come? Then I realized that actually, no, I'm in somewhere else. So real. So anyway, yes, so real, in short. And not just imaginary real, but really affects the person. What really affects is the feeling, the experiences, so-called joy, so-called suffering, emotional imbalance, whatever you want to name it. Similarly, all the experiences of the samsara, even in this human lifetime, all the changes that we experience, in relation to our environment, in relation to our body, like aging, like sicknesses. Even emotionally, sometimes you feel so happy, sometimes you feel day is quite miserable. How miserable it may be. Even there's a big wound that is already happening, in your body. Even that very scary, nasty disease called cancer, whatever. But in reality, no different than just like that dream. No different. In fact, it's same. Same. It is so real, but it is hallucinational experiences. Okay? It is real. It is so real. I wouldn't say real. It is so real, but it is hallucinational experiences. It is a dream-like experiences. Similar like how we experience the dream. So this is big thing. This is the thing we need to fix. So maybe I'm kind of summarizing the essence of the course here. I haven't started the refuge, but it came up. It's your karma, our karma. So this is the thing that we need to fix. We need to have a great wisdom and merit to be able to fix this. Without correct wisdom, we won't be able to recognize dream as a dream, right? We don't, unless we wake up, then only realize dream as a dream. But in the dream, not many people able to recognize dream as a dream while you're dreaming. In Buddhism, in Tibetan Buddhism, there's a great deal about dream yoga. Yeah. But even without reaching to that level of training, that level of kind of practice, we can still proceed, defining what is truth and what is not truth, even in this very beginner level. We don't need to kind of wait to realize that. You see, as long as logically it is convincing to your intellectual mind. Logically, first we need to convince logically. You see, not just based on faith. Logically has to convince through example. So the dream is a valid and it is a real example. You see, and the meaning we need to achieve in our relative truth, in a relative world, in our ordinary relative life. You see, yes, there are intense suffering, but if you realize it's just simply quality of your mind, and when you start to fix something that which can be fixed without needing to fix the world outside physically, if you have the right tool and consistent in the meditation or training, you manage to do so. You see, like when we talk about liberation from all the sufferings, when we talk about enlightenment, freedom from samsara, it's not talking about freedom from the body, the physical body. We are not talking about freedom from the world outside. It's just simply talking about freedom from the bondage of ignorance. You see, freedom from the bondage of ignorance. And that is simply, we need to wake up within. We need to wake up within. Our mind need to wake up into the light of wisdom. Then with the tools of capability of concentration. Concentration means ability to control yourself, ability to guide your mind the way how you want your mind to experience. With the help of concentration, you utilize the wisdom full time, fully. At the beginning, through mindfulness, to do so. And eventually, repeated habitual training, it becomes natural to you, isn't it? Anything. After even memorizing prayers or mathematics or whatever, after repeated habitual repetition, either in the thought or either in the speech or either physical action, eventually it becomes natural. You don't even need to remember it. You don't need to apply any mindfulness. And always there. If not consciously but subconsciously, always present there, isn't it? When you arrive that, it's called fully awakening state. That's the state of Buddhahood. You see, Buddhahood is a state of fully awakening state, isn't it? That's Buddhahood, isn't it? At the moment, everybody experience Buddhahood, but experience Buddhahood just for 1 second. Maybe for some, maybe 1 minute, 5 minutes, maybe 1 day, maybe at least during the retreat. Then after that, we lose our momentum because it is based on effort. We need to reach to a state that we don't need to depend on effort. Make sense? We need to reach to a stage that we don't need to depend on effort. It has to be natural, naturally coming in our way. How to do that? Through repeated, consistent repetition, making habitual. That's why sometimes like intense retreat is very beneficial because it helps us to repeatedly reminded at least with the external kind of the discipline. Then meditation. Meditation means being habitual, isn't it? Meditation simply being habitual. So being habitual in the wisdom They say wisdom of at least acknowledging my whole being is Buddha being. Yeah, my whole being is Buddha being. My true nature is Buddha, not the samsara one. Not that suffering, the suffering being. You see, and keep reminding that it is hallucinational. Yeah, it is really look real, but it's not real. Real to that false mind, because we are using our main mind. We are utilizing is a false mind. We are very much fully function of only false mind, either ignorant, either confusion, either anger, either attachment, either those impure view about everything. We are completely in complete control of controlled by all these negativities. We are very much run by the, very nasty parliament. You see, very, very harmful leaderships. You see, like a president as an ignorant, maybe the innate ignorant is like a president of our world. Then prime minister is, I think, the secondary ignorance from the troubling I was talking about, with the wrong view, with the wrong culture, wrong environment. Then you develop this, ignorant of that which directly act as a cause of the karma. Then, who is our home minister? Home minister, attachment grasping maybe. Then who is the defense minister? Anger, aversion. Then maybe education minister. Who you want to assign? Who recognize? Who is your education minister? Maybe jealousy. Desire. Okay, I think they can serve two responsibilities, both home minister and education minister. Very greedy. So then, and then what else minister? There are many. Basically, we have negative emotion handling, guiding entire different departments, and we are the victim of that ourselves. At the moment, our world is very much run like that. So when we practice Dharma, is very much bringing revolution to that parliament within ourselves. And we need to change totality, not one by one. One by one, of course, but not like some keep there, some change. Not like that. We need to change completely. You see, so you appoint wisdom of emptiness as a president, and bodhicitta as home minister, and the loving kindness as a maybe foreign minister, or maybe compassion as a defense minister, who at least understand others' suffering, as through the understanding of your own suffering will not cause trouble to the world, etc. like that. So anyway, you see, so yes, so that's very much the thing, you see. But this guiding force of our life at the moment is in fact harming so much, destroying our potential, destroying our opportunities, you see. So we need to quickly have to realize that and have to change completely, and that is through to keep reminding the Dharma knowledge, and most importantly, taking like Buddha as our teacher, our guide, You see, and it is wisdom as our inner guide. You see, the main refuge in our heart. Then always try to be among these, the community of practitioners, community of sangha. You see, so through the support of each other, then we manage to come out from the misery of samsara like that. Yeah, so here we need to make clear that Buddhahood is really achievable or not. It is achievable. We have to make clear about that. The becoming of Buddha, way to become a Buddha is simply waking up from the ignorance. And we can also acknowledge that we do experience, Buddha experience, even in this ordinary person. The only thing that we don't experience completely, the result in Buddhahood is because of, it haven't been spontaneous. We haven't wake up fully. You see? So that has to be very clear. And we have to know that we have the full power to do that. There's a full potential to do that. Because the wholeness of ourself is pure. Wholeness of ourself is pure, not impure. My true being is pure, not impure. The impurity just regard as not even 1%, from 100% of who you are. Not even 1%. And it is very much the characteristic of factors, not innate quality of ours. Our innate quality is compassionate. Our innate quality is wisdom. This needs to be clear to really to proceed our extensive learning, especially this particular teaching that we're going to discuss. We don't even need elaborate extra commentaries. We're going to use this Geshe Tenzin commentary on the 7-point thought transformation, commentary to the root text by Geshe Tenzin. Every single word we have to practice literally. There's no interpretation is needed. So it's very, as long as we read the entirety of the knowledge, and the teaching also taught us as instruction to apply into our daily practice. We don't need even a separate instruction to learn how to practice this teaching. There are many teachings you learn, you have to go and ask how to practice this teaching. Like initiation. After receive initiation, you have to go and ask how to practice sadhana. No, this particular text is practiced just the way it is. It is follow exactly just like that. The manner of meditation session, manner of post-meditation session, simply follow exactly, literally, and simply to repeat that. It's unbelievable, clear teaching. I think during our time together for this next few days, after reading, simply to look at each other. Hopefully I will remember, because sometimes once I into the text, then completely lost myself. hopefully that, we kind of, how to say, endorse each other. Yes, I understood. Is tell each other. If you didn't get it, then say I didn't get this point. Or I won't able to practice this way. So what is slightly lighter way? So then we can kind of share, try to help each other. Otherwise, like you got it, yes, go ahead, like that, So very much like that, you see. So, and we can do it. Already mentioned, we have a proof of past practitioners. Even in our lifetime, there are many practitioners who achieve realizations on the path. And the second proof is that we have the potential. That's most important to know. Even this very moment onward, try to uphold the real being of you. If there's any limitations that you realize that those are regrettable, anything that is bothering you due to your own actions of the past, or any actions that related to others or others' action towards you, or even the place where you come from, if you see limitation in that, even about the world, there's so many places, so much troubles going on. But if you look at the good side, there are a lot of amazing Bodhisattva-like people also exist. More than that negative force. We are too engrossed. Our focus is very much directed very much towards the negative side. But in fact, there are so many, of course, as far as concerned Buddha-wise, there's not even one single atom where there's no Buddha. Buddha is all-pervasive because of omniscience. But how many times, even in the day, that we remember that Buddha is everywhere. Yeah, we hardly think like that. The moment you wake up, we think, wow, world is very nasty. It's very difficult world, very difficult life. If you start to think the other side, Buddha is everywhere. There's so many Bodhisattva, like even in the ordinary people. There's so many people doing something good for someone. Even that one person becoming a refuge to take care of that one pet, that cat, become a saver of that cat. Maybe that person don't like any human being, but still like his or her cat. And you live a life because the cat needs you. Even think of that. Even that is valuable. Even that is so precious. That is so valuable. That is good energy. That is good human being. Yeah? You see? So if we think like that, almost everywhere there's compassionate people, kind people, generous people, pure people. You see? And most importantly, you are already high level of that position, upholding moral ethics. You see, you are so generous to help others in your best ability. You always think of the well-being of many others, even all sentient beings. You see, sincerely you've been expressing compassion great compassion, you really have this true love that I really want to be happy, and you try your very best to gather all the causes for happiness, which are the virtue. You are wishing everybody to be happy. You try your very best to do something for the cause of their happiness. These are unbelievable quality, amazing positive existence, isn't it? But the problem is we hardly remember that. We hardly think about that. You see? So therefore, we have to let go. If there's any, disturbing emotion related to our past actions by yourself or by others. If there's anything, try to let go. So letting go is the starting of purification. We have the human intelligence. We are logical people. Yeah, we're quite smart people. You see, so there's only negative impact. There's only harm if we remember any negativities, even for a moment. If we express this from the point of view of karma, the moment you think of one negative, you create a negative karmic potential. You see, negative karma of the thought. And that is very powerful, more powerful than negative action performed through our speech and our body. The negativity committed from our heart is even more powerful. You see, but you think of the benefit. If you put effort to forget, not to remember negative imprint of the past, is a virtue. Is a virtue. Even if it's not virtue, at least neutral. There's no negative accumulation. You see. Now, on top of that, remembering good things, good memories, remembering the good deeds you have performed in the past, or you have a vision to perform in the future. If you remember even once, in the Buddhist teaching, it's called as a practice of rejoice. Like such as a great master, Shantideva. Rejoicing is the supreme virtue. You see, if you rejoice of that little, maybe there may be only one thing you remember that you did good. But if you remember that, rejoicing in your own virtue, your own pure conduct, the meritorious impact, the benefit, multiplied 50% without even doing the job. And that's quite easy to accumulate merit, isn't it? You see, when we talk about merit, this is so easy way to create merit. Simply make yourself remember all the good things that you have done, and your mind filled with those, emphasizing those good visions. Visions of I want to become Buddha. For the benefit of all sentient beings. How amazing, beneficial vision. This is your project. This is a huge project, but most meaningful project. I want to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. It's amazing, isn't it? And keep acknowledging that, wow, good. This is good mind. And how wonderful. And you remember again. Each time you remember, the conditional meritorious causes that you accumulate to bring success to that vision is huge. You see, like 50% of merit you already start to accumulate like that easily. So when you rejoice of the virtue of other, so it is said in the sutra, if you rejoice the virtues of these people that which is similar kind of merit, then you also earn 50%. Just simply, feeling happy that someone is doing good. Now, if you rejoice in the virtues of the Buddhas, it's a 1 of the 10. So Buddha's merit is infinite, isn't it? Unimaginable. It's perfected in all the virtues. But simply rejoicing it, you receive 1 of the 10 amount of the merit that Buddha has. It sounds like unbelief is cannot believe, but that's the truth. You see, so like Lama Tsongkhapa is emanation of Manjushri. He emphasized someone who has merit, then all your wishes will be fulfilled. Sonam Dembe, me Sabanam Yantum. So when someone has Sonam merit, then that person's all the wishes will be fulfilled. Even understood that all the miseries that we experience is due to either not enough merit or either all the merit have exhausted. You see, so rejoicing. Now everybody want to be happy. Anybody here want to be unhappy? No, I don't think so. Everybody, I want to be happy all the time. You see, so there are so many tools to really genuinely bring inner peace. In a genuine fulfillment. It's not easy, but there's one direct cause that which will bring immediate fulfillment in your heart, and that fulfillment directly, immediately result in a peace, happiness, and that is rejoicing. You see, rejoicing in your merits. You see, even that one good thing that you have done, just remembering it, and well done, just saying that, acknowledging that, you see, you will be amazed that entire your system is filled with, tranquility, blissfulness, the joy. You see, from depth of your heart, you start to experience joy, sense of feeling that life is so meaningful. You see, so the easiest way to bring happiness is also in the practice of rejoicing, practice of remembering good things you have done. You see, you are not boasting about what you did, what good things you did. It is a practice of rejoicing. You see, so like that. Okay, so I think we need to. So I will maybe. So then maybe we do the prayer the next session. So we stop here for a break. I think half an hour. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So take refuge and generate bodhicitta, motivation. Then after that, pay salutation to Guru Shakyamuni Buddha to receive the blessings of the authentic lineage. Then salutation to lineage gurus to receive the blessing in the sweetest way, the most effective way. Sanje Jodan Zoji Jona La Janju Badu Dani Jazunje Daji Jeje Gebe Zonama Dola Benje Zanje Rubarai Jo Zanje Jodan Zoji Jona La Janju Badu Dani Jazunje Daji Jeje Gebe Zonama Dola Benje Zanje Dobarai jo zanje jodan zoje jo namala janju badu dani jazun daji jeje gebe zonamaji dola benje zanje dobarai jo Gangi doje ne zone davadam je bambe jire dambe june duen zebe godam de la chanse lo Doni ni je zondo je be lama zeje zeje kanche den de gue chana be mo den zen jang zo so wa de zo da yu jin je lo Okay, thank you. Yeah, Merry Christmas. And Happy New Year. And Happy Birthday. Oh yeah. So I will try to go through the text. So the the teaching that we're going to discuss, 7-point thought transformation, the mind training, teaching from the mind training lineage. One of the 4 different channel of transmitting the Buddha Dharma in the context of Tibetan Buddhist tradition. So the Lojong teaching, so this falls under the Lojong or the mind training lineage. And the another lineage is the Lamrim lineage, then philosophy lineage, then instructional lineage. As far as concerned with the Lojong teaching, similar like a Lamrim, it contains all aspects of lineage in one stream of the lineage of Lojong, the Lamrim. So it contains the blessings of Lamrim, the gradual path of enlightenment. And then it also contains the philosophical blessings of transmissions of Buddha Dharma, the philosophical treatise very much compiled for us to study is very much based on the 17 Pandits. Among them, the crown jewel Lama Atisha, who is the main source of this teaching, and such as the Shantideva, who is the root lineage of all the Lojong teachings, and no questions about Asanga, Nagarjuna, Dharmakirti, etc. It also contained the instructional lineage, because the Lojong teaching itself, at the initial time, very much passed down from teacher to the disciple as an instruction, instructional guide to take the Dharma knowledge onto practice. So all the teaching that emphasized within Lojong teachings, like the 7-point thought transformation, is the pit instructions of the lineage masters. Even in our lifetime, if you have karmic infinited guru in the human form, if you ask pit instructions, very much these are the instructions that they would offer for us to develop ourselves on the path, you see. So, and also this particular teaching, it has the blessings of the nearing lineage, because of Adisha being the root guru, root lineage guru, to even to say Geshe Tenzin. No question about Geshe Chekawa, who composed the root text. So even the commentary, it is lineage guru is Adisha, and Adisha, who have the nearing lineage to the main body path of the 7-point thought transformation, or Lojong, or mind training teaching, which is altruistic attitude and altruistic wisdom, the bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness. And this training very much in relation to 7-point cause and effect, and 4-point self-exchanging with others. And it is hard practice, is the Tonglen practice, the practice of taking and giving. So this lineage, Adisha received directly from Dharmakirti, Lama Selingpa, before he traveled to Tibet, before this Lojong transmissions came into existence from the early Katamba master, like such as Adisha to Domtamba, etc. So even though Adisha carries the lineage of training on bodhicitta from his earlier masters, earlier gurus, like such as Dhammarakshita and Maitri Yogic, they are his major gurus when he was in India, and he received those lineages. But these lineages are comparing to the lineage from Selingpa, is a longer lineage. So he carries a lineage from many different lineage gurus who are all realized, highly realized beings. Some are enlightened, some are Arya Bodhisattvas, and some are who are residing in absolute training of the Bodhisattva's way of life. So due to having the lineage blessing of Selingpa, and Selingpa directly from Buddha Maitreya, when we receive the transmission through the unbroken lineage up to our own master, then it is easier to cause the transformations of our mind. So that is validating the correct and pure stream of lineage. So now, these teachings are also, spoken by the historical Buddha, even though the lineage received from Buddha Maitreya, these teachings of the Buddha Maitreya also align with the Shakyamuni Buddha's teaching in the Paramita Sutra, the training on the altruistic path, extensive, root texts available within the Kanjur. Then those of the teachings later, the great Indian Pandits, they did rigorous study on them, and they gain wisdom out of it. Then that wisdom also, didn't really take immediately as instruction to their spiritual path. They took great amount of time to investigate through an analytical observation with application of valid logics, reasonings, through extensive and rigorous debates. Then investigations of these wisdoms are beneficial wisdom. The attitudes are beneficial attitude. And on top of logic and reasoning, they apply, see whether it really, bring result of whatever emphasized in those teaching or not. And they themselves achieve the wisdom of analysis. Even then, they didn't really fully dependent on these teachings. The wisdom they gain from learning and analytical observation, they take further application through the tools of absorption meditation. The wisdom from the analysis, they bring into absorption state of investigation, and from there they actualize the total resultant, the aspect of the Dharma. By themselves becoming the path, by themselves becoming the being of the path, the absolute realization fully on those knowledge. Then only then they compose commentaries. Such as Nagarjuna, like Shantideva, even the Bodhisattva's way of life is the root Bodhisattva's way of life, or Bodhisattva Avatarcharya, the text by Shantideva, serve as a root text to all these Lojong teachings. But this is a commentary or sharing of his own experience in accordance with the knowledge that Buddha have shared in the Paramita Sutra. After they become Bodhisattva, then they share these teachings among us, and this teaching then brought to Tibet, many parts of the world, the Mahayanic and Vajrayanic kind of cultured, the communities, but in particularly these Lojong teachings are very much lineage came from the Tibetan great Masidas, such as the earlier Kadamba masters, then passed down. And Kadamba masters also, they didn't just take it based on just a faith. They too used the same technique like the great Indian Pandits did to validate the teachings of the Buddha. So this Kadamba master again, they come out many summaries or more elaborate commentaries, like such as even this particular text is more elaborate. One way is a summary. The 7 points are the summary of the Buddhasavadacharya, the summary of the extensive many volumes of Paramita Sutra, but also it is more elaboration, like a commentary, the language that which is easier to relate to the practitioners of newer generation. So therefore, these lineages then uphold, by all the 4 major great Tibetan Buddhist traditions, Nyingma, Kagyu, Sakya, Gelug, and especially Lama Tsongkhapa, who is the nearest lineage, even among the 4 Tibetan Buddhist traditions. He have mastered teachings of Nyingma, Kagyu, Sakya. Then the essence of all the teachings, he put together, and there are certain things that need to highlight, certain things that need to make as a interpretive teaching, a certain thing he make as a definitive teaching, then bring about the illustrations of Lama Tsongkhapa's the knowledge, like such as the Lamrim, the gradual path to enlightenment. There's no greater treatise than that. There's no easier text to study than Lamrim, and there's no complete text in just like in Tibetan it's just only 1 volume. For English translation, there's 3 volumes. You see, when you study, when you master the Lamrim Chemo, you master all the 5 treatises of the Geshe program. Let's say if you study in great monastery Geshe program, it takes about 25 years. But if you master Lamrim, you master all these 5 treatises of the Geshe program. If you master Lamrim, then you master all the Lojong teachings too, and all the pit instructions, etc. So, even though since it's a newer tradition, it called as a Gelug compared to the earlier tradition, but it is something that which carries the blessings of all the lineages. So when you study Lama Tsongkhapa's teaching, you are not kind of, you don't have to kind of, how to say, limit with one group, Gelug, So Gelug, the tradition is something that which is so open, which have the wisdom of all the lineages, you see. So when you become how to say, serious learner and serious practitioner under the guidance of Lama Tsongkhapa, under the guidance of Lamrim, you become great scholar and practitioner of even Nyingma, Kagyu, Sakya, or all the lineages, you see. So Lama Tsongkhapa also understood as an embodiment of Guru Pema Sambhava, and is without doubt his embodiment of Manjushri and Cherezik, Vajapani. So there's a great blessings, when we travel on the path, especially unknown path, untraveled before, we need some sense of closest guidance, which is the Guru, which is the Lama Tsongkhapa. Then we also need that gentleness to yourself, in the softness, with full of patience, full of understanding, to yourself and to the surrounding, compassion. Lama Tsongkhapa carried the element of, his embodiment of being a Chenrezik, so there's an element of compassion. And you also need sharp wisdom. The harmful wisdoms or non-beneficial wisdoms are plenty. it sounds great, but then it is harmful. Let's say wisdom to make a atomic bomb, is so harmful, isn't it? But it is a great wisdom, but it's harmful. It's not benefit. You see. So so we need wisdom that is so beneficial to self and to the world and to the sentient beings. So Lama Tsongkhapa carried the embodiment of Manjushri. So from that point of view also, it helped us to lead on the path with a great knowledge and complete knowledge and most beneficial knowledge. Then at the same time, there are so many obstacles. Yeah, so many obstacles. The more you do good thing, the negative forces also they try to obstacle. That happened to the historical Buddha himself. That happened to all the great masters and all the great practitioners. So you need a great power. Which can overcome inner outer secret obstacles. So when you relate to Lamrim, when you relate to Lama Tsongkhapa, then there's Lama Tsongkhapa being the embodiment of Vajrapani, is three-time Buddha's power. So we call the Riksung Gombo, the three-in-one. So Lama Tsongkhapa preserved this teaching, Lojong teaching, as a lineage holder of the later Kadamba. The earlier Kadamba is Lama Atisha Domdemba, later Kadamba Lama Tsongkhapa, and living Kadamba like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, like Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche. Many, almost all of you, very much know the living Bodhisattva, the living example of this teaching, Lojong teaching, like His Holiness Dalai Lama. And many of you also have met Gyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche, is living Bodhisattva. And you may have your gurus. They are living examples of this teaching. So these teachings are not just preserved in learning, but also preserved intact in realization up to our time. Our gurus. You see, not like many hundred years back there are such living practitioners, but not today's time. Not like that. Even today's time we have a living example like His Holiness. It's the most clear example to us. His Holiness also use the human aggregates, similar like ourselves, carries emotions. When sometimes I think of His Holiness life and our life, how much challenge we think we went through compared to the challenge that His Holiness Dalai Lama went through is nothing. We can say at the age of 2, he almost, he lost his family. He was taken away to a monastery, to Potala Palace. He's away from his mother, you see. And sometimes His Holiness express this little boy, of course he is recognized as His Holiness Dalai Lama, so he will be asked to sleep in that magnificent room for us, but it's quite scary for the little child, because most of these high lamas' rooms are drawn with, especially in Tibet, in Himalayas, with all the deities, especially lawful deities, protectors, high tantric deities, like such as Yamentaga. Can you imagine Yamentaga with a buffalo head, with a horn and like that, and in the Himalayas, in Tibet, in the lama's room, always lit a butter lamp. So butter lamp, not totally bright, but then yet, and butter lamp, over there is not airproof, so it's moved like that. So there's a lot of shadow. Then look on the wall. Can you imagine? Just for a little kid, that's quite terrifying, isn't it? And His Holiness sometimes expressed that, but someone as a chosen as a His Holiness, he have to live life like that. We didn't go through that, even though we say, oh, my child would got this problem, that problem, but not so bad, I think. So anyway, even though it carries amazing altruistic meaning to that, very, very, very precious thing, but then again, for human mind and a human child's body and mind, that is intense. So then, at such a young age, you need to take all the responsibility of spiritual responsibility, political responsibility of Tibet. Such a tender age, he has to be a leader and have to handle such an intense situation. How can? It's so intense. And he had to flee. There's one picture, always just looking at it, like, really, there's one picture of His Holiness wearing this, the pants, and I think with a hat or some, I think with a stick, just resting. I think that's the time that it took when he was escaping out of Tibet. Yeah. So how to go through that? It's so much. Then in the midst of seeing, there's so many people died. Emotional relationship with all those people is like his own, more precious than his own life, like his parents, his children, his brothers, sisters, like he carried full responsibility. And even after coming out in India, up to today, always hearing someone is killed, someone is in prison, someone is in, every single detail, every single day need to hear is like hearing the news of in the family, something went wrong. Not easy, but I think His Holiness is, the strongest person that you can witness in the human realm, most peaceful person that you can witness. I think there's one person who smiled the most, I think, could be His Holiness the Dalai Lama. That you can, I don't know why the world record didn't record that. The most smiling person, the most peaceful, happy person, world record, There's so many world records in that, but maybe they forgot about that part. So anyway, and so peaceful and so healthy, both body and mind. The impact of that inner peace. Where this inner peace coming from? Because of great compassion, immeasurable love, immeasurable equanimity. Where this coming from? Because of he used the Lojong teaching, mind training teaching. He always emphasized that he was very much shaped by Bodhisattva Avataracharya, by Shantideva, the Bodhisattva's way of life. The daily essence of his practice is bodhicitta and wisdom, or great compassion and wisdom. He says that's the where all the power comes into him. That's the where all the peacefulness. That's the way that he get the best sleep. I think His Holiness, I think he sleep the most. You see? He get to sleep the most. Maybe I should say a bit different way. He get to sleep, like really deep sleep. Restful sleep. Says that he sleep around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, maybe latest 8 maybe. Then morning around 3, 4 o'clock he wake up and he conduct his practice. Quite long hour he sleep. You know, if you don't have inner peace, no way you can have a good sleep. You see, even little emotional balance or physical, element balance, we cannot sleep well, and that's quite hard. If we don't get to sleep well, isn't it? You see, so it doesn't mean that since he's His Holiness, there's no trouble in his life. I think he had more trouble than any one of us, I think, if you really compare. Throughout his life, age of 2 already. And now, I think, among all of us, I think he is the oldest, isn't it? Among all of us. Is there anybody 90 years old? How about you? 81. Still much more younger than His Holiness. You see? And even Venerable can take as an example. Even I said before, Venerable may not know me, but I know Venerable from long time. I think even before I was born, I think he's already practicing very high level, seriously. You see, so and he's coming from America, right? And I think he's the very much initial starter of, I think, the Vajrapani, etc. So very early time, and America is also not an easy place. But enjoy that peace and that good health, mental good health, and that affected physical good health. You can see Venerable is glowing, including his beard is glowing. No question about all things glowing. So you see, so this is a living example. They use this mind training techniques. Very much 2 things. Summary is 2 things. Just your heart filled with great compassion, and filled with the wisdom of, the knowledge of no self. You see, even the realization is not there, but just heart filled with these 2 tools. So using these 2 tools, where the inner peace comes from. You see, so these are lineage holders. The living examples, like His Holiness, is so obvious. You see, so therefore, we too put effort. I think that's the best way to bring so much meaning in life and so much happiness, fulfillment in our life. You see, so in the teaching also talks about the 5 powers for lifetime and 5 powers at the time of dying. Again, the essence is bodhicitta. If you live a bodhicitta as your motivation, as your dedication, as your guide to how to conduct the actions of our body, speech, and mind, your life is, your life makes so meaningful, as equal as a Bodhisattva's way of life. And there's no more meaningful than that, you see. So that will make sure our precious human life is not wasted. Our precious human life being great service for the benefit of the entirety of existence. So at the time of dying, not need anything else. Again, lively having the bodhicitta. Everything translating in the understanding of bodhicitta, everything. I live also for the benefit of sentient beings' enlightenment. I die also for the benefit of sentient beings' enlightenment. I suffer through the process of death also for the benefit of sentient being. My heart filled with the Dharma, even the bodhicitta throughout the process of death, for the benefit of sentient being. You see, so there's a beautiful quotation that Kyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche have designed. I think there may be somewhere. I think also, live with compassion, die with compassion. Unbelievable. You see, that's the essence. You see, that's the essence. Yeah. So therefore. So the first line here, after the title, the commentary on the 7-point mind training, says Shibu Chogi Gyaltsen. It says, your precious body is the source of all goodness. I think whatever I just said, we can make this precious human life, which is very much designated on this human aggregates, can able to make as equal as the meaning of His Holiness Dalai Lama's life. In your own whatever position that you have, whatever lifestyle that you may have, just make the same value, have the same value, without needing to change the outer environment, not necessarily change this body, not necessarily to change your partner, your address, your job. Just adopt the value, like what His Holiness Dalai Lama have. Adopt the value of the like these great masters. Then our this ordinary life, literally become extraordinary, most meaningful, and we have this potential. Our precious body is the source of all the goodness, including enlightenment. If our diligence is there, correct methods are learned, and be consistent in our day-to-day life, even full enlightenment within this very cushion also, we have that opportunity. If not, few years time. If not, maybe at the end of the life, when we go through the transitions from this to next life, by the power of the refuge that you have in bodhicitta. You see, as I mentioned before, the power, just remembering bodhicitta, we were protected. Having refuge in bodhicitta at the time of dying, we are protected, falling into samsara. Even we happen to come back, reincarnate into samsara, it becomes solely for the purpose of liberating sentient beings, You see, then more than that, the subtle bodhicitta and the subtle wisdom is the clear light. The method, the clear light, and it is a method to utilize the clear light onto the path, the union of method and wisdom. Like the past master, like Milarepa have done, like Lama Tsongkhapa have done, to actualize enlightenment during the clear light experiences. You see, Milarepa have achieved that, like that. Many great masters, even today's time, have achieved that. But clearest example that we usually use, like Milarepa. Then in the intermediate state, if you didn't manage to achieve enlightenment during the clear light of death, then at the intermediate state, you enlighten in the Sambhogakaya, like what Lama Tsongkhapa did. If not, then reincarnate. Another round of precious human rebirth, or reincarnate in the pure realm of Chenrezig, or any meditational deities, then enlighten there, So you see, so this precious body is a source of all this goodness. So now this teaching, after that, start with the salutation, salutation to the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and the gurus, in order to clear obstacle on the conversations and the benefit of this teaching to the sentient being, and also accumulate extensive merit. The merit can serve as a consecration to this teaching to be most effective, even just hearing, by studying, by practicing, it becomes most beneficial to the transformation of the heart. Then after that, so introduction to the, then there's a discussion on the preliminary practice, preliminary knowledge. Four common preliminaries, which is so essential to any practice, in particularly, like beginner like myself, to really bring the maximum benefit of the teaching. The first one, like precious human rebirth, to recognizing precious human rebirth. Then the second one is the impermanent, death and impermanent. Then the karma, the knowledge of karma, how karma works. Then understanding the limitations of cyclic existence. So these are the four common preparatory to prepare our heart to really to extract the absolute nectar of the Dharma. From these four preliminaries also help us to make three very important decisions by recognizing the preciousness of our life. In the Lamrim, it talks about 8 freedoms and 10 endowments. But I would summarize, that you can read in the text. One thing that I usually think like this, how precious my life is. My life exists in the time that Guru Chenrezig, the Buddha Chenrezig, compassionate Buddha, exists living human guru form, and unexhaustible nectar of Dharma is pouring onto us through his living example, through transmissions, through commentaries, through initiations, providing vows. What can be more precious than that? What can be more precious than that? No question about we have the freedom of not being born in the 3 glory realms, all this, what emphasized generally, but just one thing, our life, this life force, this human life exists almost oneness, very much in oneness in the life of his oneness, who is the compassionate Buddha Chenrezig. Through the immeasurable compassion, he manifests so near to us. There's no nearer than that can be the relation that we have, and that is the illustrations of the immeasurable love, compassion, and care to us. You see, that is the expressions of genuine, true love by Chenrezig to you. The Chenrezig, the Dharmakaya, manifesting in ordinary human form, that without even needed, like constructed kind of motivation, but even just open our eyes, the naked ordinary eye also we can see that Buddha directly can able to experience and inspire even to this most ordinary mind. There's no greater skillful means and expressions of love and kindness by the Buddha than that. That is the fact. You see, that's the fact. And our life exists in this position, you see. So what can be more precious than that? What can be more precious than that? You see, even the inner quality of yourself, inner freedom and endowments. All of you coming from a very luxurious country, developed country. All of you are doing great in your jobs, your relationship, complete family. Even you're single, you are enjoying your life. Each and every one of you come from a very, very comfortable, compared to many other people. You're coming from a most comfortable environment, honestly. Even though you think I came from a miserable place. You think of compare with the hell realm, compare with the animal realm, you compare with the person who is trapped in the war, who trapped right in the middle of natural disaster and diseases in hospital bed. Compared to that, each and every one of our life, there's no better position than now. That's also true. That's also fact. You see, that's a real thing. You see, but at the same time, there's so much of distraction. You see, firstly, we are born in the desire realm. That's supposed to be disaster. Then the worst, because of being born in the desire realm, among all the negative emotions, the desire is the worst one. Most frequent, almost everything is to do with the desire. Even ignorance develops from desire. Aversion develops from desire. You see, even in the spiritual practice, also very much, foundation by desire, if we are not careful. Even in relation to the guru, desires relationship, if not careful. Even to aspiring for enlightenment also, if not careful, very much desire is the one. Desire is the one, not an inspiration. The desire can be the one if we are not careful. So distraction is so intense, almost everywhere, in all time. You see, endowments, then when we will be able to accomplish that? You see, almost like we have this most favorable inner and outer. So there comes the first decision. I can achieve Buddhahood. First decision, I can achieve Buddhahood. I can be in the position to benefit entire numberless sentient beings. I can practice Dharma. I can realize all the stages of the path. I definitely can able to realize bodhicitta, realize wisdom of emptiness. I can, because I have all the conducive conditions with me. So that decision is the first decision. Many times we are not sure about that. Maybe possible to the yogics in the mountain. Maybe possible to the monks or nuns. Or maybe possible to those who are in India, maybe not in Australia, not in America, not in Europe. No, same. I think we are from many different countries, and quite a good number turn out. So you see, and each and every one of you is proof that in your country have, that freedom, that potentials, if you want. You see, so the first decision is so important. Decisions that I have all the conducive conditions and I can become Buddha, like that. But is dead and impermanent. But this condition, this precious human life, the nature lies in impermanent. And since we are born in human aggregates, death is definite. And time of death is not sure. Uncertainty. Even you ask Buddha, when I'm going to die, he will not say anything, he will stay like that. If you ask Jesus, especially today, Christmas Day, we choose to ask Jesus, also will stay quiet. You ask any figure will stay quiet, Even you ask the human guru also, you will choose to stay quiet. You see, and you ask yourself, you also don't know. You see, but the reality is, death is certain, but time of death is uncertain because we really don't know. Nobody will make a firm statement, say this is the date. You see, so therefore, this favorable human rebirth is there possibility maybe only this present moment, this very present one moment. That is real, this very present one moment. So as long as we remember to fully utilize that very present moment in the development of bodhicitta, the altruistic wisdom and altruistic attitude, either in the motivation, either in the dedication, or either in any of the action, like such as the 6 paramita, maybe practicing generosity, practicing moralities, or practicing being patient, or developing concentration, whatever it may be, doing now, whatever you can in the present moment, is the way to fully utilize this precious human rebirth. And the meaning, the purpose will be achieved. You see, now we just have to be mindful to be in the present moment, making most meaningful of that present moment whenever there's a present moment arrives. So if we have the present moment, many present moments for another 50 years, then that single moment for 50 years make it meaningful. If only we have 1 more hour, then live fully in the present moment during entire of that 1 hour, that 1 minute. And that is it. You see, we don't need to ask extra more time. You see, you manage to live fully in the present moment, then we don't have to ask many more years or even many more lifetimes, you see. And this is not asking too much, not asking us to oh, this is so stressful, If I have another 60 years, 70 years to live, oh my goodness. So this is so stressful for me to be every moment mindful, So no, don't worry about that. Just remember that one present moment only. You see, just remember now, every time now only. Don't have to remember past, don't have to remember the future. Every now, be in now, fully. You see. So now, when we talk about ultimate spiritual goal, which is very much the state of everlasting happiness, pure, genuine happiness. You see, that's called the state of enlightenment, state of perfect liberation. You see, so now, if in case that our enlightenment is very next moment, you need to have a right cause. Not wrong cause won't produce a result. You need the right cause. happiness is the cause for happiness. Virtue is the cause for virtue. Non-virtue will not cause virtue. Suffering won't cause happiness, or non-virtue won't cause happiness. You see? So it is so crucial to be happy in the present moment. That happy, not talking about sensual happiness, the fulfillment in the virtue, the happiness that you enjoy, heart fulfilled in the virtue, and that can serve as a direct cause of your enlightenment, if your enlightenment is next moment. So if we live miserable in the present moment, no way that next moment will be state of enlightenment, logically. Yeah, unless you don't want to become Buddha, you want to achieve the everlasting happiness next moment. At least I want to enjoy the suffering for next moment. Then only on the third moment that I want to become Buddha. If this is your demand, then what to do? But if your aspiration is that I want to get enlightened now, or immediate next moment, or whenever it's possible, then you need to be lively in the cause that we call a direct cause. In the Tibetan language, there are two types of cause. Nyelen Giju, Lenji Chegen. So Lenji Chegen is a conditional one. Nyelen means Nguegi Nyelen, means immediate cause. So that has to be harmony between the cause and effect. Otherwise the result won't be there. So that's why, since the state of enlightenment is happiness, true happiness, you need to have it is lineage of true happiness before, immediate before. So this is so crucial, especially someone there who is really know what is your path, like say bodhicitta, and you are really practicing wholeheartedly. Then you need to practice that you can accomplish the path now, isn't it? You don't want to drag, isn't it? In the heart of bodhicitta, you want to benefit sentient being as quickly as possible. You won't say no, later. So if that's the thing, then at this very present moment, it's so important to secure inner peace, secure happiness, true happiness. You see. So if we remember this, if we remember this truth, then we will help us. We will help ourselves to be happy in every present moment. We will remind ourselves to be happy every present moment, which is not easy, but that is a very important requirement. So we have to work it out. How to put yourself in the position of every moment happy. This is a great practice, So this also later you can discuss during discussion. You see how to something that really make sure that you understand what it means. If you need further clarification, further discussion, then it's good to hear during the discussion group, hear from everybody, how you understand this point. So make very clear about that, you see. So whenever you are in the genuine virtues cultivation, that's supposed to bring instant fulfillment. But that can be quite subtle, even though in the word quite easy, but can be quite subtle to really to acknowledge that. Right now, everybody's in a virtue. Do you feel inner peace? So yes, for some for sure. For some, it's like, I got inner peace. My buttock is in pain. I'm not really understanding what he blah 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 blah. What's going on? And it's like kind of maybe already wondering some nice sandwich, pizza, whatever it may be. It sounds like the inner peace is out there, not here, you know. Even in I'm in virtue, but there's no sign of inner peace. There's no sign of like fulfillment, because my heart is full of pizza somewhere else, or my heart is full of my buttock is pain, cross leg pain, you know. You see, so it's that's subtle, much more. Yeah, you need to go even more than that, more than just this word. You see, the wordings are correct, but really to make you to feel the inner kind of bliss, inner kind of tranquility, need to even sing further down. You know, have to kind of need to have some sense of weight inside, you know, in your heart. So you have to find it out, figure it out. This is very important. You see, if you manage to like figure out that exact point to grab, then we can say happiness. The happiness starts. You see, the life of inner peace starts. You see, then, as mentioned before, like Hisonless, even in the midst of turbulence of the environment, you're not disturbed. You still see so much meaning in life. You see, always positive, always hopefulness, you know, optimistics, you know, and always see the positive side. You see, when our heart is closed by the suffering, limitations, then there's no room for us to have a heart of hopefulness, positivities, you know, happiness. You see, so you see, even when we meditate on bodhicitta or great compassion, if we don't know exactly what's supposed to achieve, you know, not necessarily that your heart get fulfilled. Maybe your heart get hurt. Seeing so much suffering in the world, your heart kind of feel pain. But it's not supposed to feel pain whenever you think of bodhicitta. Whenever you express genuine compassion, your heart not supposed to feel pain. You're not supposed to feel helpless. You're supposed to feel power. So there's a training has to be done, you see. So discuss and also contemplate, also, you know, and try to translate that something that in your language, you know. Most importantly, make sure that okay, I got it. So once you get that technique, then it's amazing, you see. So he says, in the midst of the darkness of ignorance of the three worlds, you uphold the pure light that illuminates the path to liberation. To you, Selingpa, who are true to your excellent name, I bow my head. So here says Geshe Tenzin, the composer, you know, paying homage to Selingpa, you know, who uphold all the Bodhisattva's qualities. Then, following his full enlightenment, Lord Shakyamuni Buddha turned the wheel of Dharma 3 times, and after his entry into Nirvana, the author of the commentary treatise elucidated these three trainings. Through the combinations of the Buddha's secret words and a commentary treatise, the teaching flourished extensively in the world. So very much authenticizing the Lojong teaching, the 7-point thought transformation. You know, it is it is the same teaching that taught in the commentaries by the great Panditas like Shantideva, Nagarjuna, Atisha, etc. And those teachings are also based on Shakyamuni Buddha's three turning wheel of Dharma. The first turning wheel of Dharma, Four Noble Truth, second turning wheel of Dharma on wisdom of emptiness, and third turning wheel of Dharma, clarifying the mainly of the earlier two turning wheel of Dharma teachings, etc. So ultimately, this teaching is based on Shakyamuni Buddha's wisdom. The doctrine is taught in the two vehicles, namely the great vehicle and the lesser vehicle. The great vehicle is divided further into two, mantra and perfection. Generally in Buddha Dharma, the two vehicles. Lesser vehicle, which is based on Pali, earlier Buddha's teachings. Then the second vehicle is the Mahayana vehicle, which based mainly on the Sanskrit teaching that Buddha have shared. Within the Mahayana vehicle, there are two sub-vehicles, Mahayana Sutra, Mahayana Tantra. So Mahayana Sutra widely spread, within the like China and the Chinese communities. Then the Vajrayana vehicle greatly spread even early time in India. Like the proof of that is like such as Ajanta, Ellora, the 80 Masidas caves. You don't find much of the sites that Mahayana and the Mahayana Vajrayana within the central India, like in the Bodh Gaya region. The Bodh Gaya and those of the 8 major holy places, start from Lumbini and to Bodh Gaya area, is more based on the lesser vehicle, more to the Theravadan tradition. Even though there's an element, always there's an element of Mahayanic teachings, especially the second turning wheel of Dharma at the Rajgir that we're going to visit. The main audience are actually the Bodhisattvas, and from the human also, mainly who aspire the altruistic wisdom, but it was a spoken more hidden level. The literal is again harmonized more towards the lesser vehicle, like that. So the Vajrayana teaching, the sites in India you can find South Indian regions, like such as Ajanta, Ellora, and there are many other places. And that came into existence even during and before, the Nalanda monasteries, Nalanda University, Bhikkhamashila was established. And you will find many lineage site of the Vajrayana in Nepal, even in other neighboring countries, but especially in Nepal. There are many sites of the Vajrayana, and of course in Tibet, and even in Mongolia, even in Japan, even in Korea, and China, etc. All of these vehicles present either directly, indirectly, the elimination of self-grasping and the cherishings of others, the two themes. So whichever teaching come from whichever yana, whichever philosophy, the ultimately is to negate the two main obstacles, self-cherishing attitude and self-grasping ignorant. And that can be done in a maximum level through the two tools of Dharma, the attitude of bodhicitta and wisdom of emptiness. Since there is only the self-grasping to be eliminated and the well-being of the others to be sought, those engaged in the practice of the Buddha's teaching must understand how to relate whatever practice they undertake to these two endeavors. You should practice in such a manner if you are able to your Dharma practice will then be free of error, and you will arrive at the enlightened intent of the Buddha. Okay, so I think we need to stop here. So then later the word say, can these 2 points be practiced adequately on the basis of reading the treatise? So we will discuss afternoon on that. Thank you. So we also make the food offering since we breaking for lunch. So you regard the food offering. There's a great yoga, food offering yoga can be practiced as a charity to the person for the purpose of sustaining these human aggregates to accomplish the path, to be in the service of sentient being, and also charity to all the other sentient beings, starting from the bacteria in our body whose life sustain to the sustainability of our body, and our body sustains the nutrition of the drinks and the food that you take. Then also as an offering to the triple gem, offering to all the reverend who deserve offerings, and also eat the food and drink to antidote to 3 poisons. We don't eat the food because of I like the color, I like the shape, I like the taste. Just appreciate and eat. Then also to antidote to aversion. They say, oh, I don't like the taste, I don't like the shape. Again, eat as a medicine. Medicines can be so bitter, not nice, but it is something good for your health. You take it, isn't it? So you take the food like that. Then also to antidote to ignorance, by remembering how many sentient beings have contributed to actualize this. Even 1 grain of rice, how many bacteria died, cost their life to obtain this grain of rice. How many people and bacteria contributed to actualize this vegetable, this rice. So I eat this food to make my life in the service of their well-being, like that. Omo ahung, omo ahung, omo ahung, tenpa lame sanje rinpoche, gyoba lame tamche rinpoche, tenpa lame gindu rinpoche, gyamne kunjo sumla, chöba bu, jimba jajen gyongwa de, do 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 ramjo sanje de, onze jawa namje madu, Kewe zonam jimbe dhub juro ji kase menda dhruwa rinpa je do shashi dhame ba kya je mela jimbe che mela sa je mela lune ba shi chir. Thank you.